For as long as there have been people, there have been aliens. In a cultural context at least. As far back as the cosmic pluralism debates in ancient Greece, it was argued that there are other planets just like Earth that may even have their own inhabitants. Yes, humanity has always been obsessed with the idea of these aliens, taken from the Latin alienus, literally meaning belonging to another, or simply foreign. As such, it's seen used in describing the situation of visitors from lands afar, often as a way to other them further, almost as though they were from another world. It makes me wonder, what would happen if a genuinely extraterrestrial lifeform were to crash land into a picturesque modern town, and try to assimilate into day-to-day life? With no provable identification, no home, no contacts, and no belongings, would they be able to scrape by, or remain alienated from the folk around them? Fortunately, I've not been the only one to ask such questions, given the large number of challenges people have attempted in the Sim series, and real life to a certain extent. As such, I'm throwing my hat into the ring, seeing how the life of an illegal alien would be in the pleasant pastures of Sunset Valley. Let's get to it. Meet our man on the ground, Jenkins. Having just crash-landed in a sparsely populated area, his natural reaction is to celebrate the fact that he survived and think about joining the military. It would after all be the swiftest path to piloting a rocket ship and returning to whence he came. For now though, he had to find civilization. He can't find it in the nearby trash can, so he decides to head downhill. He spies the various abodes and constructs clustered around the outskirts of town, before finding himself in a graveyard. Not knowing what a graveyard is, Quap decides to do some exploring. After various misadventures and discovering a small gnome he decides to name Christopher, he unwinds with some light fishing before starting his military journey. But there's another problem. Being a new face in town with little change, next to no personal belongings and no safe place to stay, is more than a little daunting. It makes one wonder how he was even hired as a latrine cleaner without proof of address, ID, or any relevant experience. Still, Lady Luck is on his side as he rolls up to the 24-hour gym, which will become our unofficial base of operations for this run. With everything from workout machines to food to running water and a place to sleep, it's a veritable YMCA. Despite being in relative shelter, he sleeps with both eyes open and facing different directions, as he's still relatively exposed here, but with the most basic needs met, we can focus on getting a good night's sleep. We're as close to a good night's sleep that one can get while sleeping rough. And before he knows it, it's time for work. Latrine scrubbing is tough work, and it leaves Quap exhausted, but what can be done? It's hard getting restful sleep without a proper home. So why not visit one? After successfully infiltrating the Hart household, Quap is able to finally get some quality rest. Well, about 8 hours of it. Funnily enough, entering someone's house to sleep in their bed is somewhat frowned upon. Oh well, between that and the gym, it's more than enough to keep us going to our second shift. Though after so much time at the gym, it might be worth branching out somewhat and seeing what the rest of the town has to offer. The public pool has facilities, recliners to sleep in, free burgers, and a place to swim to keep our fitness up. The only thing that's lacking is the company of a friend. And what better friend than our boss? Mirabello Plaza is the place to be, and Erin Kennedy would surely be up for a night on the town. They start with some light conversation, but unfortunately she loses interest in hanging with him before they could even make it to the cinema. Oh well, might as well do some salvaging if the hangout's a bust. This could be considered a failure of a night, but Quap does still manage to get some well-earned rest and even a shower courtesy of the public pool, which is strangely open 24 hours. With no lifeguards, that's surely something of a liability. But we won't bite the hand that feeds. Off to another shift. The routine is starting to settle in. Work a shift, scramble up some free food and other such services, sleep where you can, and do it again. It's a hard life, and he's barely getting by, but he is indeed getting by. And even if his boss doesn't respect him, he gets on well with the elderly patrons of the gym just fine. And well, since he's here, he might as well get some exercise. After all, an astronaut has to be in tip-top shape. Unfortunately, this turns out to be a fatal mistake. As he reaches the end of his workout, the music player breaks unexpectedly. Luckily, handiness is another skill that needs training in pursuit of the astronaut career, so this can be an opportunity to learn something. Quap fiddles around with the wires, poking and prodding without any real objective and hoping he'll stumble onto the solution, and then he gets electrocuted for his troubles. In all honesty, I forgot this could even happen. The sound of him being fried scared the hell out of me. Another thing I forgot is that for a short period after being electrocuted, attempting to fix anything can instantly kill your sim. And so ends the life of Quap Jenkins. This was not planned, and witnessing this event so far from my last save point had me questioning whether to even continue this run. But in times like this, I ask myself, what would Quap Jenkins do? Give up? Hell nah, it's time to mount a rescue mission. Maybe another Jenkins family member can come and rekindle the flames sparked by Quap. Gerb Jenkins is here and ready for action, though she seeks a different goal to her predecessor. After all, why strive to become an astronaut when you can become leader of the free world? Maybe she'll be able to succeed where her brother failed. She strides away from her own crash landing, passes Quap's impact crater, and makes her way towards town. But as she makes her trek down the hill, let's ask ourselves, where do we seek homelessness in The Sims? Home building, decoration and management are key aspects of The Sims as a series, yet so many choose to go without it in the spirit of challenge. But why? To explore systems and mechanics not often touched in a comfortable life? To shake up a formula that we've been playing with for decades? To explore deeper themes and questions within a life simulation? I don't know, I'm asking you. I'd like to say it's to sympathise with what a homeless migrant would have to deal with, and explore the safety nets and community spirit that can raise someone up from rock bottom, but I think I'm biting off more than I can chew. I was building Skegness and Rollercoaster Tycoon 2 not long ago. I don't think I'm equipped to tackle immigration and homelessness just yet. And before we know it, we're back in familiar stomping grounds as Gerb enters the gym that Quap made his home. It's surprisingly melancholy, not the same central hub it once was. The patrons are gone, and Quap's grave lies not far from where he was slain. That's the first wrong she has to right, fixing the faulty music station so that nobody can perish as he did. And already it seems that life is being restored to the place. Things go back to usual surprisingly fast, once again settling into that old routine of eating, sleeping, and soon enough, applying for work. Politics is a different kettle of fish than the military, involving maintaining friendships and practicing how to lie in front of the mirror. The public toilet at the park gives us this opportunity for as long as the cubicle isn't occupied, though anywhere with a modicum of privacy will do the trick. Nothing beats real life experience though, so it's time to take another crack at going out on the town. It can't go worse than last time. Who cares if we're not getting a bite from our work friends? We can make friends wherever we go. Or sod it, maybe we'll just eat alone. Another failed social event for our alien friends. But she's not going to give up that easily. Making friends is easy. Just alternate between work gossip and having them talk about themselves, throwing in the occasional compliment. It doesn't matter what the motives are, even if it's just to sleep somewhere warm. A tactic borrowed from Quap Jenkins, God rest his soul. It ends about as well, and she gets the boot after a few measly hours of rest. But hey, there's plenty of houses yet to turn her away, and in the end she's plenty well rested enough to do her job, advancing from podium polisher to ballot counter in no time. Again, in the real world you'd need to pass countless background checks before even being considered for work like this, but luckily the folks around here are much more trusting, especially when it comes to sleepovers. She's even managed to get her boss to see a movie with her, a stunning achievement considering how rough meetups with other Sims have been in this run. I've never seen cyborg goat herders, but it has to be either very physically taxing or very boring because Gerb immediately heads for the nearest bench for a snooze. Not too long after though, she manages to get some more schmoozing done at the same bistro she'd failed to invite her workmates to a few nights prior, utterly establishing how far she'd come in such a short time. And what do you know, another promotion. Now she's a campaign intern, in to converse more with her constituents, polishing up her social skills and... It's all a bit bloody boring, isn't it? Folks, I tried, but it really was just a repeat of Quap's struggles and talking to people. And I hate talking to people. In The Sims at least. Where it's just repetitive chatter that takes too long but is too involved to just zone out to. At least with repairs and workouts you can get them going then listen to the in-game radio. So forget it. Gerb's journey has to come to an end. We were better off with the astronaut route. But what to do now? Retire her? Repeat the death of Quap? Delete the save and start fresh? No, that wouldn't be anywhere near dramatic enough. Besides, that would just leave us in the same place as when Quap passed. Maybe the third time's the charm. Maybe there's another Jenkins ready to usurp the throne and make a go of it. Ladies, gentlemen, etc. Get ready for Leroy Jenkins.